Well, I've made it to the roots. Never going to get the pronunciation of this correct. And I'm sitting here. You're going to hear a lot of street noises in the back. One of the things about staying in albergues is a lot of people like to sleep in the afternoon when they get back from their walk. If I did that, I would be awake all night. As it is, I'm still waking up about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, typically 3. Still haven't gotten quite used to the jet lag. But I'm here in the roots. Today was a great day. Beautiful, as you'd seen in some of the videos. Just a very nice day, a good walk today. Tiring, but not exhausting like day one. However, I think the day after tomorrow and the day after that are going to be pretty tough. But we'll see. But I just wanted to talk about one thing. Yesterday, when I was on my way to San Sebastian, I ran into a couple of Italian guys, and it was great. We started talking. He was from Firenze, and then I mentioned about my enthusiasm for Dante, and it was great because then we started quoting each other. Of course, we began with now I can't remember it, and I know it so well. We'll begin with the beginning of the Divine Comedy, nel mezzo del cammin di nostra vita mi ritrovai per sua sera. So I'm getting it all messed up. My brain is tired right now. I got some noise in the background too, but anyways, so we started quoting and throwing different quotes at each other to see if we could outdo one another. One of my favorite quotes, I have it written across the wall of my library, is considerate la vostra semenza così non foste come vivere brut per seguire come fosse se non foste per vivere brut ma per seguire virtuta conoscenza. My Italian friends, you can correct me on how well I pronounce that in Italian. For my English friends, my English-speaking friends, what it basically says is, consider your seed or your children, your progeny. You're not born to live as brutes, but to seek truth and wisdom. And I started thinking about that, and it was like, wow, that's really really interesting, because when I started thinking about it, I thought of something that I had heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about. And he was saying that if you took all the possible genetic combinations, all the different combinations out of the human genome, and added them up, that there are far more possible combinations than there are people that ever lived. And there's been about 100 billion people that lived, but there's many more combinations than that. And there'll never be as many people to exhaust the different possible combinations of genetic code. And I thought that was quite something. And it made me think of the Dante quote, the Dante quote made me think of that, in the sense that we're really privileged to live. Life is very much a gift. I mean, just think of the probability of you being alive. Think of the spermatozoa and how many are released during conception. I'm trying to say this politely. And how many were released during conception. And think of the how many there are, and the likelihood that the one that made you happened to combine with the one egg that made you to make the unique you who you are. And then think about going back and the probability of your mother and the probability of your father, and then going back even further, and your grandmother and your grandfather in both sets. And the point is that you being you is highly unlikely, but you're you and you exist. And the probability of it is so small, of it uniquely being you, that it's phenomenal. But then I think of the Dante quote again. We weren't born to live as brutes, but to seek truth and wisdom. So how do we spend our lives? How do we live our lives? Do we live as brutes? Or is there something more to our life? One of the important quotes that I believe from philosophy is that existence precedes essence. We come into existence and we decide what we want our existence to mean. Do we want that to mean to be brutes, to be people who just go through life and stuffing our faces and sitting on our butts watching television? Do we want to be people who just sit in front of the tube and watch sports? And not that there's anything wrong with watching sports, but you know the type where it's like they're just consumed with it, just consumed with being your fan and be the fan of this particular team. The routine that Jerry Seinfeld does about people who, you know, the players in the teams change, the management in the teams change, teams even change cities, but ultimately, you know, you're still the fan. So what are you the fans of? The uniforms? I didn't deliver it as well as Jerry Seinfeld. But the point is, it's like, what, I mean, yeah, it's great. Sports are entertaining. But really? Is that what's your purpose in life? Is your purpose in life to watch cable news, and whether you're on the left or the right, to get all excited about that, to argue with people about that on Facebook, to listen to talk radio and get enraged by what the other side is doing and argue about that? Is that what your life is about? I don't want my life to be about that. I want my life to mean something. I want to do something with my life, and that's why I'm here on the Camino. But you know, it doesn't have to be the Camino. It could be anything. My wife loves pickleball. She plays pickleball with her friends. And it's more than just a sport. What it really is about is it's about her experience with enjoying her time with her friends and its social interaction. She goes to tea with them. She's in a garden club. Some of you may have noticed the beautiful, in fact, some of you have commented on how beautiful our backyard was. And that's my wife. You know, she just made our backyard beautiful. And I look at my kids. My eldest daughter is an author. My middle child, the younger of my two daughters, she has a business, and she's raising a child. She just an infant, and she's trying to balance those two things. But that's something that's a life with substance. My son is nearing completion of med school, and his life is going to be in service to others. And you know, Marcus Aurelius said, "What's good for the hive is good for the bee." So when we talk about what is our essence, what is it that we want to be? What do we decide our lives to be about? It's more than just gross consumerism. It's more than just the hedonistic pleasures of the moment, whatever they may be, from watching television and stuffing our faces to whatever. But it's about giving back. It's about being part of something. It's about being connected with the society in which you live. So I've been thinking about that today. Thinking about the conversation with my Italian friends yesterday. And thinking about the community that develops here in the Camino. It's a wonderful thing. I mean, it really is. I mean, you get to know these people. You get to talk with these people. Met a young lady yesterday who does family law in London. Talked with some other people, a mother and daughter, who were doing this trip together because the daughter's been between schools. She happens to be going to med school. Talked with a young lady who is a paralegal. And just people just living their lives and experiencing their lives and getting more out of it, getting what they could out of, as much as they could out of it. So all of this is kind of going through my head as I'm walking along, witnessing the beauty, experiencing, I don't know how to describe it, just experiencing the pleasure of being in the moment, being connected with nature and the people around me, and being part of this wonderful community of the Camino family. But this community doesn't even have to end. It's all part of the community in which we live. whether it's the Camino or being a Californian or a New Yorker, American, being beyond that, being a human being. So maybe I'll talk more about that later. That's what it's all about, is just being connected to other people in the world around us. Now, all of that from a conversation with a couple of Italian guys. So that's it for today. I'm going to grab some dinner. I'm going to try to see if I can find a razor. I think I need a shave. I don't want to grow another beard like I had last year on the Camino. I'll grab some dinner, turn in for the night, and tomorrow should be a good day, as this one was. But boy, a couple days after that are going to be tough ones. Anyways, thanks a lot. And Buen Camino. Arrivederci. Ciao tutti. Buonanotte. See you later. Take it easy. Buen Camino. Bye.